Conservative new media viewers, JLin fans around the world, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world. What's up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to discuss Charlotte's 104-96 victory tonight over the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn, New York City, New York. This was an excellent win for the team. We're going to break it all down. With the victory, Charlotte improves to 29-26 on the season. They have now won 4 games in a row on the road, which is really impressive. They've also won 5 games straight overall. And finally, they have won 7 of 8 games overall. So they're 7-1 in their last 8 games. They also improved to 10-17 on the road. That doesn't sound that good, but it's much better than how they were doing on the road until very recently. They're actually starting to be able to compete and win games on the road. And as I make this video, they are currently in 7th place in the East, sitting there in a playoff spot right now. So this was terrific. Let's do the woo to celebrate the win. I'll count down from 3, and if you don't want to hear this loud noise, you can just skip over this part. 3, 2, 1. Woo! The Nets were led by Brook Lopez, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Joe Johnson, 17 points. Thad Young, 14 points. Wayne Ellington, who used to play with JLin on the Lakers, 13 points, starting shooting guard. And that's it for Brooklyn. Let's talk now about how the Hornets players did. Kemba Walker, 28 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Marvin Williams, 9 points, 12 rebounds. Cody Zeller started again as Al Jefferson's kind of working his way back up to speed, 10 points. Courtney Lee, 5 points. This was Courtney Lee's debut game for the Charlotte Hornets, and he is starting at shooting guard. We'll talk more about that in a second. Nick Batum, 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. Al Jefferson, who came off the bench tonight, as I alluded to, 18 points, 7 rebounds. JLin, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He played 31 minutes, shot 3 of 10 from the field, including 0 of 1 from three-point range, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 1 steal, 1 block shot, no turnovers, 2 personal fouls, and Jeremy's plus-minus was a plus 10. It should also be noted that Jeremy played the 3rd most minutes on the team tonight. Kemba Walker, 39 minutes. Nick Batum, 38 minutes. Jeremy and Marvin Williams each played 31 minutes, whereas Courtney Lee, who started tonight's game, played just 21 minutes. Before I get more into what happened with the game, let me talk about a couple of other things before this game took place and just kind of what's going on with the team. Courtney Lee was making his debut tonight, as I mentioned before. Also, with the arrival of Courtney Lee, you now have what looks like the 9-man rotation set, I think. And that's going to be Kemba Walker, Courtney Lee, Nick Batum, Marvin Williams, and Al Jefferson once he's ready to play starters minutes. That'll be the first 5. Then the second 4 will be JLin, Jeremy Lamb, Frank Kaminsky, and Cody Zeller. So that means Jeremy Lin and Jeremy Lamb will each have to kind of play 2 positions. Jeremy Lin will play point guard, shooting guard. Jeremy Lamb will play shooting guard, small forward, because there's basically no one behind Nick Batum right now, and that is, of course, with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist out of the lineup with the shoulder. That 9-man rotation is good. It's not superstars and all this, but it's good. It's a solid rotation. Frank Kaminsky is really starting to come into his own. He's developed quite a bit this year already as a rookie. Courtney Lee is going to help out. I like the way Courtney played tonight. So this is a solid, good 9-man rotation that can compete. And it's nice to add Courtney Lee because he's going to help out. Finally, before I get more into the game, Charlotte signed guard Jorge Gutierrez to a 10-day contract. Jorge is a point guard / shooting guard, and there's basically one man left in the roster. There's one roster spot open, and they need somebody for point guard, shooting guard. That's kind of where he would fit in, where that roster spot fits. And so they're looking at Jorge Gutierrez, and we'll see. I don't know a ton about him. We'll see if he sticks with the team. Hopefully he will be able to do that, and we'll kind of see how that works out in the time to come. Why did the Charlotte win this game? They won because they shot 51% from the field, which is fantastic. They outplayed the Nets down the stretch of this game. They held Brooklyn themselves to 43% from the field. They forced Brooklyn into 14 turnovers for 21 points, whereas they themselves only gave up 16 points off of their own turnovers. They really got a tremendous amount done in the third quarter of this game, but the truth was they outplayed Brooklyn for the first 3 quarters. And then Brooklyn made a run in the fourth quarter and kind of made it close, got it down to about 6 points. But Charlotte had enough of a cushion heading into that stretch where they were able to hold off Brooklyn and secure the victory. Now, how did Jeremy play? If you look at his statistics, he didn't shoot the ball great. He's had a little bit of a shooting slump recently, but that's not, it's going to happen. That's just the way it goes. I thought Jeremy played well tonight. I thought he played under control tonight. He moved the ball. He definitely played kind of the point guard role. No turnovers in 31 minutes is fantastic. He was key at different stretches of this game, and he was very important down the finishing stretch of this game. Early in the fourth quarter, in the middle of the fourth quarter, he had 2 difficult defensive plays. Early in the fourth, he had to rotate over to Mirza Teletovic, who was shooting a 3-pointer, and Jeremy had to run a long distance to get to him, and Mirza was able to shoot it and hit it right before Jeremy got there. So that was a little bit tough, although it was a difficult situation to be in. And then in the middle of the fourth quarter, Shane Larkin cut towards the basket behind Jeremy, and he received a pass from Brook Lopez and scored a layup on that. So those were 2 kind of tough moments for Jeremy. He also missed 3 shots early in the fourth quarter. But then late in the fourth quarter, he really turned it on. He got a steal on a pass that was intended for the man that he was guarding, who was Wayne Ellington at that moment. He forced a turnover on Wayne Ellington. He basically corralled or kind of led Wayne Ellington right underneath the basket. And then Wayne Ellington went up to shoot the ball, and he literally hit the bottom of the backboard, and the ball went out of bounds. That's a turnover. Jeremy then got a defensive rebound. He forced another turnover on the Brooklyn, and then he made a great pass over into the right corner to Kemba Walker for basically the game-sealing 3-pointer. Then he got another rebound, and finally he had one final miss. He had 2 misses late in the fourth quarter, but he played terrific defense. He really locked in when he needed to down the stretch there. And look, we came into this game wondering who's going to play down the stretch, who is going to be the finisher. Well, tonight JLin was the finisher rather than Courtney Lee. Is that going to continue? I don't know. It could be that Cliff is thinking that, well, Courtney just got here and he doesn't know all of our sets yet and so on and so forth. And as he gets more acclimated, then maybe he'll be the finisher. But this, if you're a JLin fan, certainly this is a good sign. Jeremy was given the responsibility of finishing. And what I liked was that Clifford stayed with him, even though Jeremy did have a couple of difficult moments earlier in the fourth quarter. Also, Jeremy played the final 13 or 14 minutes of the game. He came in late in the third quarter, I believe, and he played the whole rest of the game from there. So Clifford's definitely giving him responsibility and giving him respect and relying on him. And that was really good to see. Jeremy played fantastic in the second quarter of this game. Really, really well. He just was on a roll at that point in time, particularly on the offensive end. The second half, his shot wasn't falling, but he stayed with it, and he was important to the victory down the stretch, as I mentioned before. So I'm not going to go over all quarter by quarter. I already told you a lot about what Jeremy did, particularly defensively down the stretch of this game. But he played well. He moved the ball. He took his opportunities when they were there. When he had a chance to push the ball and get to the basket, he did that. And he took shots. What was nice about the way he played tonight, in addition to kind of the under control aspect, was he didn't try to force three-point shots. He has been struggling with his three-point shot recently. We know that. And so he's saying to himself, okay, I'm not hitting shots right now. I'm just gonna take 2-point shots instead of trying to shoot a shot that I'm not making right now. I'll just get to the rim, I'll get to the basket and get fouled. He got to the free throw line a good amount tonight. I think hit 5 of 6 on the free throws. So he did what he needed to do. And I really like the 9-man rotation, as I said. Not only are they good players, but this is a high character group. As I mentioned in the last video, Courtney Lee is a high character individual. I don't want to put down anybody else, but you've got a good bunch of guys here. They're unselfish. They root for each other. They're real teammates. Really, I mean, if you've had any kind of a weak link or anything like that, you might say Frank because he's a rookie. Some people might say Jeremy Lamb because sometimes maybe he's a little too focused on shooting. But I mean, honestly, Jeremy Lamb's having a good year. He's shooting the ball well this year. His PER is good. And to be honest with you, I think it was good in some ways that the team got rid of PJ and Brian Roberts. PJ, as I mentioned, he's had some off-the-court issues. And Brian Roberts, as most people that are Jeremy Lin fans will tell you, seems like he shoots every single time he touches the ball. So now you've got 2 of those guys are gone. You bring in a high-character guy like Courtney Lee who moves the ball more than shoots the ball. And really, like I said, I mean, honestly, I know some people think Kemba guns the shots too much. He is a shoot-first type of guy a lot of times. But he's having an excellent year. And he will pass the ball. He is an unselfish player. That's just not his mindset always to pass the ball, but he will pass the ball. So basically, like I said, I mean, in my opinion, or just my way of looking at the game, I would say Jeremy Lamb is the weakest link in that 9-man rotation. And Jeremy's shooting the ball really well from 3. He's having a good offensive year. He's playing better defense. If Jeremy Lamb is your 9th man and he's the weak link, you're in pretty good shape, particularly the way that Jeremy Lamb is playing this season. So I like this group of guys. I think these guys can make a push as long as they stay healthy. I think they're absolutely in position to make the playoffs. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I think if this team can get up to the 6th seed, where they avoid Cleveland and they avoid Toronto, I think they could do some damage. I think they could have a real chance to win a series. Now, I don't know who's going to be number 3. We have to see. There's still plenty of games left in this season, in the regular season. So we're not close to this. There's still 27 games left, but I like what I'm seeing. I like the move for Courtney Lee. I like the team construction, and the guys are gaining confidence. They're gaining confidence on the road, which was the real weakness early in the season. They're getting more comfortable with each other. JLin, Jeremy Lamb, Batum, guys that just came in this season, they're getting the chemistry's building with the rest of the team. Al Jefferson looks really good. He had knee surgery done. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. And he has said that this is the best his knee has felt all year, and it looks like it. Like, his offensive moves look really good. His movement, his ability to use his footwork, make cuts, and he looks very good. His lift on his jumping looks great. I like it. I'm really excited about what this team can do, and I think that they've, for a while there in this season, maybe after about game 25 or so, the team went in kind of a funk. They went into a funk for a long time, for 20, 25 games. And in the last 8 or so games, they've come out of it. They've refound their mojo a little bit. Look, they held Brooklyn. Brooklyn's not a great team, but they still held them underneath 100 points. They're starting to regain their defensive identity and intensity. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to win on the road. They improved the roster with Courtney Lee. And I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I think that this can really come together well for this team, provided they can stay mostly injury-free. And I don't think anybody's really hurting right now. I mean, Al was probably the last guy. I think Nick Batum and Jeremy Lamb are kind of over their toe ailments that they've been dealing with. Jeremy, we know Jeremy has the back wrap on a lot of times, but he seems relatively healthy. I think so anyway. So I think the team's in really good position right now. I think they're in really good position, and I'm as excited as I've been probably for the entire season. Look, it certainly hurts to lose Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. He's such an impact player on defense. However, Michael has been out almost the entire season. So the team isn't used to him. They're not used to having to rely on him. And so you bring in a guy like Courtney Lee, who's kind of Courtney's more of kind of a piece that fits in with everybody else rather than Michael. Michael's more of kind of a dominant piece that you gotta kind of get used to. So we basically took what was working early in the season with the roster, and you added Courtney Lee to it. And like I said, now you have a better version of Al Jefferson because his knee is doing better. And I think things are really good for this team. I'm very excited for where things are going for this team right now, and the way that they're performing and how they seem to be feeling about themselves and their ability to win games and win games away from Charlotte. So the next game up is going to be a big test of that, and that is because it's a rematch against the Eastern Conference champion Cleveland Cavaliers. We know the last time the team played Cleveland, they beat them pretty good, and Jeremy Lin had a huge amount to do with that. This time the game will take place in Cleveland. It is the 4th game of the 6-game road trip that the team is currently on. That will take place 3 days from now on Wednesday, February 24th here in the United States at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That means the game will take place on Thursday, February 25th at 8 a.m. in the morning in Taipei, Taiwan, and throughout China. It's nice that the team gets 2 days off. They'll get a little more practice time, some time to let Courtney Lee kind of get more integrated. And Nick and Kemba played heavy minutes tonight. And my guess is that Coach Cliff was thinking, we got 2 days off. These guys can play a little bit more tonight because I really want this win, and I want to start the road trip off 3-0. Look, the worst this road trip can go now is 3-3. And they've got some tougher opponents coming up. It's Cleveland, Indiana, who they just beat in Indiana. So Indiana will be looking for payback, and then the Atlanta Hawks. Those will be a good test. But that's why it's great that they got off. They got those first 3 victories on this road trip. They put themselves in position. Even if you lose those 3 games, and I'm not saying they're going to, you're still at 500. You'd still be 29-29 at that point in time, and you're going home. And after you complete the road trip, you will have more games remaining at home than on the road for the rest of the season. So this is, like I said, the team has fought through everything. They fought through all of the adversity, that 20 to 30 game funk that they were dealing with, and now they've found themselves again. They've rediscovered the energy. They're getting back to defense. Al Jefferson's back. Courtney Lee's in the mix, and things are looking sunshiny right now. And with Jeremy, look, Jeremy's in, again, he has been in a bit of a shooting slump, including from 3-point range, but he seems happy. He's energetic. He looks healthy. And he's not overthinking things right now, which is great. He's not worrying about his stats. He's just playing. And that's exactly what you need to do. The biggest stat of all is winning. And right now the team is winning, and Jeremy's helping them win. So that's the most important thing right now. So I'm not concerned about Jeremy whatsoever. I'm sure Jeremy's going to be real happy that he was in the finishing group today. Like I said, maybe that will continue. He certainly did his job tonight. Nothing against Courtney Lee or anybody else, but Jeremy got it done in this game. Now, if you're playing somebody big like the Milwaukee Bucks and Jeremy has to guard Chris Middleton, well, maybe Courtney Lee's in the game then, the way that Jeremy Lamb was in the game the last time down the stretch because of that. So that's fine, but Jeremy's getting an opportunity right now. There's nothing more you can ask. He got to finish tonight, so I think that I myself as a fan, I'm happy. Clifford gave him the opportunity to do it tonight, and Jeremy Lin, and the team got the job done. That is it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. We want to thank Gary Chen of the Jeremy Only Lin Garden fan group for the artwork you're looking at right now. Gary is an artist and blogger in Taiwan. Jeremy Only Lin Garden is a fan group for Jeremy Lin that is headquartered in Taiwan as well. You can find out more about Gary Chen and about Jeremy Only Lin Garden if you follow the information in the video description below the video player. Also there in the video description, you'll find information for highlights about this game, and you'll find information about how you can come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group and how you can come and follow us on Twitter as well. Once again, I'm PFE Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Look, terrific win tonight. Let's see what we can do in Cleveland. It's going to be a tough game, but we did beat these guys before, so it's not like it's impossible. Cleveland in that game will be playing Channing Frye, who they just acquired for the first time. However, tonight, Channing just got traded, so he wasn't able to play until yet. But I think then will be his first game. That'll be my guess. Also, Kyrie Irving has a stomach flu today. He had to leave Cleveland's game earlier today. I would imagine he'd be feeling better by Wednesday, but we'll see. Maybe the Hornets will catch them a little bit unhealthy. We'll see. But like I said, it's a good night. We should beat Brooklyn, and we did beat them. Very much looking forward to the upcoming games for this team. The team's figuring it out. Like I said, I think they have turned the corner, and now they're solidly in the playoff picture, and hopefully they can just stay there. There are some good teams behind them right now, like the Detroit Pistons. Detroit is currently outside looking in at the playoffs, but they're a very good team. And they got better at the trading deadline because they acquired Tobias Harris from the Orlando Magic, who's an excellent player. So I don't expect Detroit to keep struggling for too long, although today they played pretty well. Unfortunately for them, Anthony Davis decided that today was the day he was going to score 59 points and grab 20 rebounds, and there wasn't a whole bunch Detroit could do about it. But certainly that helps Charlotte that the Pistons fell today in Detroit against the New Orleans Pelicans. Hope you're having a great night or great day wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Of course, we're here in the Northern Hemisphere as we're starting to wind down winter. Take care. We will talk to you again soon in just a couple of days, Wednesday, February 24th, as the Charlotte Hornets and JLin take on LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland, Ohio.